Welcome everybody. This is my fourth presentation, The Magic Rap. It is an Assamese folktale. Before I start the story, you must have some knowledge about what are folktales. Folktales are stories in the oral tradition or tales that people tell each other out, out loud rather than stories in written form. They are closely related to many storytelling traditions, including fables, myths, and fairy tales. Every human society has its own folk tales. These well known stories, handed down between generations, are an important way of passing along knowledge, information, and history. Folk tales are even popular among tribes. Each tribe has its own traditional customs and beliefs and its own treasury of folk tales. What is a tribe? A tribe is a group of people that all have common ancestry or a common ancestor, a common culture, and live in their own enclosed society. These are the name of some popular tribes in India. For example, Santals, Bhils, Khashis, Garos, Gons, Kols, etc. Today, we are going to discuss about a popular tribe of Assam in India. The state of Assam is home to many tribes. The following is a folk tale popular among the Garo tribe of Assam. The Garos call themselves Achikmande, meaning men of the hills. They believe that their original homeland was Tibet. Nobody knows when this story was first told, but it has been doing the rounds for generations. Hereafter, we are going to read the story and understand the substantial meaning as well. You must concentrate while I try to explain you the meanings of the vocabulary as well as the meaning of the story. Let us start the story. In a village of Assam, there once lived a chief of the Garo tribe. His ancestors had been chiefs before him, so he was a rich man. His house was made of the sturdiest bamboo in the land, while its doors and windows were draped with the finest cane matting. Silk carpets lay on the floor, and copper lamps gleamed from recesses in the walls. In this first paragraph, you must have some idea about the vocabulary that is given in this page. Ancestor. Ancestor means forefathers. Sturdy. Sturdy means strong. Draped with is a phrase which means covered or decorated with something with a cloth. Gleam means glow. Recess means a space in the wall of a room. Some of the vocabularies are followed with their antonyms, that is, the opposites. Now, before I move to the second paragraph, after knowing the vocabulary, you can have a clear idea about the first paragraph. For example, in the second line, his ancestors had been chiefs. That means his forefathers had been chiefs. That means they were in the same profession as he was. Naturally, being chiefs, they were very rich men. They were very rich in comparison to the others in the tribe. Sturdiest means strongest bamboo in the land, means his house, that means the chief's house, was made of the sturdiest bamboo in the land. And the doors and windows were decorated with the finest cane matting. Come to the second paragraph. The chief and his wife led a very comfortable life indeed. They loved their home and the beautiful wooded country in which they lived. But most of all, they loved their daughter. She was an only child, good natured, and lovely to look at. The chief and his wife doted on her. As in the paragraph 1, that is first paragraph, there are also some important meanings that you must know in this second paragraph. For example, the meaning of comfortable is cozy or pleasant. Indeed means without any question, undoubtedly. Wooded means covered with dense growth of trees or shrubs. Good natured means nice or pleasant. Doted on, it is also a phrase which means loved someone very much. I've also given you some antonyms as the first paragraph for your clear conceptions about words. Now let us come to the second paragraph again. The chief and his wife used to have a very comfortable life. They used to have a pleasant life because they loved their home and beautiful wood, that means their nature. They had a beautiful daughter. Their daughter was both good natured and lovely to look at. Besides that, the couple used to love their daughter used to love their daughter very much. Now, the third paragraph. When the girl grew up, she fell in love with a young man from her own tribe. Her parents liked the boy and the marriage was settled. After marriage, the bride and the groom were to move in with the chief and his wife. The vocabulary that we must know in this paragraph are settled, which means fixed or confirmed, bride means a woman just married or about to be married, and groom is actually the husband of the bride. So here in this paragraph, the girl grew up and fell in love with a young man of her own tribe. The man was of liking to her parents, so the marriage was settled, and the bride and the groom were to move in with the chief and his wife according to the custom of those tribes. On the eve of the wedding, the girl's mother took her aside and informed her that she will be given garments made of the softest silk and ornaments made of gold and studded with rubies and emeralds as her wedding gifts. But there was another gift that was more precious than these valuables. So here the important part vocabularies that we must know are aside means away or apart, inform means tell, studded with means set with, wedding means marriage, precious means costly or expensive, valuables means treasures. You must follow the opposites as well. Now, if we return to the para, you will find that the girl was presented with three important gifts. In this para, you will get two important gifts. For example, the first one were garments which were made of the softest silk, and the second one were ornaments made of gold and studded with rubies and emeralds. These were the wedding gifts from the girl's mother to her. But there was another gift which was more precious than these valuables. Now let us see what was that gift. The mother said something under her breath. That means something which the girl could not understand. Under her breath means concealed her breath and said. Then unlocking a stout wooden casket, he took out a wrap made of silk and embroidered with 1,000 flowers in all the colors of the rainbow. They shone so, they dazzled the eye. The girl cried out of excitement and stretched out her hand eagerly to touch the wrap. But the mother cautioned her daughter and asked her not to touch the wrap without knowing the story behind it. Then she proceeded with her story. The wrap was gift from a goddess to her great grandmother on her wedding day. It has since been handed down from mother to daughter in their family. But it was no ordinary wrap. But before touching it, one must know to chant a magic spell. If anybody touched the wrap without knowing the spell, disaster befell the person. Now, this paragraph is very important because it's everything about the magic wrap. Before I go through the meaning of this paragraph, you must know some important words, know the meanings, and if possible, and the opposites as well from this paragraph of some important words. For example, unlocking means opening, stout means strong or tough, casket means jewel box, wrap means shawl or stole, embroidered means colored, dazzled means overpowered with light, stretched out means expanded, eagerly means keenly, cautioned means warned, proceeded means advanced, handed down means left with, chant means to utter, spell means charm or enchant, disaster means calamity, and befall means happen to. The girl's mother took out from a wooden casket a beautiful silken wrap, and it was embroidered with 1,000 flowers of all colors of the rainbow. That means all the colors were there. Now the colors were so bright that it dazzled the eye. The girl cried out with excitement, and the girl was so attracted that she wanted to touch the wrap. But the mother cautioned her daughter that there means the girl should not touch the wrap without enchanting a magic spell, because if anybody touched the wrap without enchanting the spell, disaster might befall the person. The girl soon learned the spell. She assured her mother that on no account would she touch the wrap without first chanting the spell. When she had admired the wrap to her heart's content, it was replaced inside the casket and securely locked. The following day, the girl was married and began to live happily with her husband. But he knew nothing about the secret of the wrap. Here in this paragraph, assured means comfortable, account means consequence, admired means appreciated, heart's content means satisfaction, securely means confidently, secret means undercover. So the girl learned the spell from her mother. She made certain that she would never touch the wrap without chanting the spell. Whenever she felt of looking at the wrap, she took it out, admired it to her heart's content, then put the wrap inside the casket, securely locked. The girl was married on the same day to her husband, but her husband was never curious to know about the secret of the wrap. The years rolled by. The chief and his wife grew old and died with time. Their daughter and her husband were left by themselves in the spacious bamboo house. The wrap still remained in the girl's possession. She never wore it for fear of spoiling it, but sometimes she took it out of the casket and held it up so the embroidered flowers caught the light and shone like jewels. Once a year, she aired it and locked it right back. She never forgot to chant the spell before touching the wrap. But her husband still did not know what lay inside the casket and never asked. The years went on, so let us first look at the vocabulary. Rolled by means passed on. The years passed on. Spacious means large. Possession means ownership. Spoiling means decaying. Aired means brought to light and air. Years passed on, and with time, the chief and his wife grew old and died. The daughter and her husband lived on the spacious bamboo house. The wrap was in the girl's possession, and sometimes, whenever he felt of looking at the wrap, she took it out and again, after looking at it to her heart's content, she put it back into the casket and locked it. She never forgot to chant the spell before touching the wrap, as she had promised to her mother. But her husband never tried to know the secret of the wrap or the casket. One day, the chief's daughter felt that it was time she aired the wrap. She chanted the magic spell under her breath and unlocked the wooden casket. Then, carefully lifting up the wrap, she spread it out so the gentle mountain air could blow over it. For a while, she stood there, unable to tear herself away from the glowing colors, and then suddenly she remembered that her husband had asked for a dish of crabs for his midday meal. Leaving the wrap where it was, she picked up a basket and set out for a nearby stream to look for crabs. Here, lifting up means picking up, gentle means soothing, tear away means remove. Now, the chief's daughter always, with time, took out the wrap from the casket, obviously after chanting the magic spell, and she spread it out so that the gentle mountain air could blow over the wrap. The wrap was so colorful that whenever she took it out from the casket, she could not took her eyes off the bright colors. And on that day, all of a sudden, she remembered that her husband wanted her to cook a dish of crabs for his midday meal. So, leaving the wrap, she went out for a nearby stream to look for crabs. As she hurried down the path to the stream, she met her husband. He was coming from a visit to the next village. The chief's daughter told him to keep an eye on the wrap. She cautioned him not to touch the wrap, no matter if rainfalls or torrents or hailstones happen. Here, torrent means a great flow of water, and hailstone means a pellet of hail. While she was on her way to the stream, she met her husband. She wanted her husband to promise her that he would not touch the wrap in whatever condition might come. For example, it may be rainfalls or torrents or hailstones, whatever conditions, her husband must not touch the wrap. The husband heard her through, though he did not think all that fuss over a mere wrap was quite unnecessary. So, after his wife had left, black thunder clouds gathered in the sky and it began to rain. The man got worried. He called out to his wife as loud as he could, but the thunder was louder. It completely drowned out his voice. His wife was hurrying home just then, but the path was uphill and she could not walk fast enough. Some important words like fast means a feeling of disapproval, mere means sheer, very, or brave, worried means bothered, thunder means the sound that follows a flash of lightning. Drowned means submerged. Uphill means an upward slope. The husband of the girl could not think that the rap was so important, and so he thought that the fuss created over the mere rap was quite unnecessary. So when the rain started, or the rain began, when it began to rain, the man, that means her husband, got worried. He started calling out, his wife as loud as he could. But as the thunder was louder, His voice could not reach the girl. Although his wife was hurrying home as fast as she could, as the path was uphill, so she could not walk fast enough. Soon the rain turned to hail. Now the man got really alarmed. Unless he did something about it quick, the rap would be ruined. Forgetting all about the warning, he rushed out and grabbed the rap to whisk it away indoors. But to his horror, the moment he touched the rap, he felt himself change. In a flash, he had turned into a large and beautiful male bird, while the brightly colored rap turned into his feathers and tail. Just then his wife came rushing in. With a cry, she caught hold of the one end of the wrap that remained and tried to snatch it away from her husband. But the moment she touched it, she turned into a female bird. Some important words in this paragraph are grabbed, which means captured, whisk means hasten, horror means frightfulness, rushing in means speeding in, snatch means grab or capture. As the rain turned into hail, so her husband thought that the wrap would be ruined. Then her husband forgot everything and rushed out of the house and grabbed the wrap to move it away indoors quickly. But to his horror, the moment her husband touched the wrap, he felt himself that there was a change in him. In a flash, means all of a sudden, he had turned into a large and beautiful male bird, while the brightly colored wrap turned into its feathers and tail. Just then, his wife came rushing in, means moved in quickly. With a cry, she tried to catch hold of the one end of the wrap that remained and tried to snatch it away from her husband in order to save him. But the moment she touched the wrap, quite uncertainly, she turned into a female bird. These two became the peacock and peahen. The man had caught a much larger portion of the magic wrap, and that is exactly why the peacock's feathers are far more brightly colored than those of the peahen, and he has such a gorgeous tail. The peacock and peahen flew out of the house. They went to live among the other birds, now in the forest, now in the fields, looking for grain and tender green shoots to eat. The peacock remains our most beautiful bird, but he is always worried about his feathers. When storm clouds gather in the sky and thunder rumbles in the air, the peacock bursts into loud cries. People believe he does this because he is afraid the rain might spoil his gorgeous colors. The important meanings from this paragraph are: gorgeous means very pleasing to look at, tender means soft, rumble means to make a low, heavy, rolling sound, burst into means give out. So here what is told? It is told that both the peacock and peahen moved into the forest or the field, or means looking for grain or tender green shoots, means soft green shoots to eat. That means they went back to their natural habitats or living place. As we see, the peacock remains our most beautiful bird. One thing what is very important over here, that whenever storm clouds gather in the sky or thunder rumbles in the air, the peacock becomes very cautious or very attentive, because he is afraid the rain might spoil his gorgeous colors. So that is the end of the story. And at the end, I must again remind you that we are in a very crucial time of our life. So it is better always to stay home and stay safe. Thank you for today. Me, Devashish Ghosh.